Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. We have a list of 18 properties on the Toronto Real Estate Board, and then we have another one on Court Street on the Oakville Milton Real Estate Board. If we haven't explained this in a while, what happens is realtors are we have memberships on different boards. There's Hamilton Burlington, there's Oakville Milton, there's Toronto, Brampton has another board, but there's MLS systems where these listings come from, and then they migrate over to the public sites like Realtor.ca, Home Finder, Royal Page, all the third-party sites. And there's a delay with that. It doesn't happen instantaneously, but what we have is access to the real core information. It also means if there's not pictures in this link, what's happened sometimes is we've done the video reviewing them, the agents put the pictures up, and then as soon as they do that, in real time, the link is updated. So plugging directly into the system is what we talk about when we talk about Market Watch or getting daily listings by email. You'll never find something publicly available that's as good as what we can do by putting you into our system. So anyway, but what happens in Milton is there's overlap between two districts. Toronto overlaps with Oakville Milton. You find some agents that put it on one, some agents that put it on the other, and some that do both. And so we've always believed that doing both is good. It's why when you go to Realtor.ca, you're going to see two MLS numbers and two different listings, even though it's the same property. And that's because that site takes all the information from all the different real estate boards. I have this whole wax on, wax off thing happening, but it takes the source information, which is what we see, and it puts it over on the public sites. So there are 19 in total. I wouldn't say I'm blown away by anything. There's some good options here, but I'll talk about a few of them, and then we'll move on, and you can go about your day. Now, what we've seen happen so far, especially in February, has been a lot of big sales for three-story homes, and we're just starting to see some of the two-stories come out. And there's been a couple two-stories that I thought sold pretty low, specifically the Bolton model. There's been two of them, and luckily our client, Brandon, how you doing, Brandon? He got an amazing deal, we think anyway, given what's going on in the market out there, and he does too. So anyway, the point is that we had these really high sales of three-story. The two stories have kind of sat here. This one on short reads 1130 square feet. It's the smallest townhouse that Mattamy makes with a two-story. And, it's really, this one might set the bar. This one could sell for $6. It could sell for $630. I mean, given what the other options are and what places have been selling for without backyards, anything is possible. And there hasn't been a lot of sales. So inside looks good. It's got a finished basement. Just the one main level. You got to be careful with scale of furniture here because you're combining a living and dining room in not a particularly huge home. And then the kitchen overlooks this area. Everything just looks like it's set up nice. There's only one bathroom upstairs. Those beds look staged to me, and then you have a finished basement and the yard. And we've talked about what happens with the backyard. That gateway, and there's another gate here, that means your neighbors have a right to access their property through your backyard because Mattamy didn't put direct access through the garage. So now, the pros and cons of that, I guess, are that the home now doesn't need to accommodate a 4-foot hallway, so now the living space widens out. And so we see some different layouts and different designs than a lot of the other builders like Green Park because everything stretches. That's your downside, though, is you might walk and see or look out your back and see your neighbor walking across with a lawnmower or some patio stones if he's putting some work in. What a lot of neighbors do in this situation is that they'll put sheds in the backyard, they'll put all their tools there instead of in the garage because then they can just use their backyard without accessing. It is as uncomfortable for your neighbor as it is for you to go through your backyard. So this one on Cooper, bit of a different game. It's an older house compared to the one we just profiled, but it's 1235 square feet, still only one bathroom upstairs on the top floor. And it's a shared access, same as the other one. So the master has a door going in, and there's also a door from the main hallway. You're now splitting off your dining and family rooms versus the other one was just one long room. And looks like there's vinyl floor in the kitchen. Believe it or not, ceramic was an upgrade when they put these homes out there. A lot of things have changed for builders, and so we've got, actually it says ceramic floor in the description, so maybe it just looks like vinyl. But yeah, you got a finished basement. Same thing you're going to find here, gate here. Maybe not here, which means this one is the third one in. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, these could be the middle, then you've got a croft side, and then you probably have something on the end. 545, again, these two are very closely competing against each other. It'll be interesting to see what happens. It may even come down to when offer nights are. So if I looked at this link over in the other window here, we just have a quick look. So this one on Cooper is taking offers Tuesday, March 7th. And then the one on Short Read is taking offers. Here's a fun game here. Tuesday, March 7th at 6 p.m. So what someone could do is go to Short Read and say, I need a quick answer on my offer. And then, if it doesn't go well, or even if they're sitting in the car for too long, they could jump over to the second property that night. So not only should sellers think about, things like market value and marketing and all the rest, they also need to look and say, what's the ecosystem of offers? When are things lining up? That'll be an interesting battle on Tuesday night. I would be tempted, if I was one of them, to either put it the day before or the day after. Interesting stuff. It's a real cat and mouse game. So Playfair, 1.15 million, 3,300 square feet. I mean, if you're more than 3,000 square feet right now, you'll probably be in the million plus range. It's just kind of the way it's happened. Heathwood homes tend to command a premium. I really like this big window right here in the front living room. That is a very nice looking feature inside and out. You've got your 2-story room. It'd be a nice place for an office. And the home's set up well. I mean, I don't love yellow as sort of a power color on listings. I find if you go a gray or some kind of beigey taupe, it tends to be a little bit more powerful for a listing. Light fixtures, doing things like changing those balls makes a big difference. And people say, well, what does it matter? It's going to sell anyway. People can choose their own light fixtures. My answer is there's a reason builders make model homes. And if you can get emotionally attached to a home, or get a buyer to be emotionally attached, they will open their pocketbooks up. It's just the way it goes. I've seen it happen over and over. And so you really need to decide at what level you want to play at too. It's okay being a 7 out of 10, not to say this one is, but in general, your game is different being a 7 versus striving for a 9 or a 10, and people are always going to pay more, it doesn't matter what market, for the 9s and 10s. Just the way it goes. Okay, so I'll put the link down below to Court Street on Ortis, and that's the list. There's a lot of other ones you can look at in the link, but I think I've said my thing. So if you need some help, you need some honest advice about buying or selling or investing, we're here for you. Okay, Charlton Advantage Team, Chuck, and we're out for the day. We'll see you tomorrow.